Hey guys, Dustin here, CEO of 630. Today I want to talk to you about what bike you should ride for what distances. We get a lot of questions, people asking, I want to go a couple miles, what bike is right for me? We're going to talk about that. But before we do, don't forget, comment below if you have any questions, subscribe to our channel because we're going to keep releasing content answering your questions, and of course reach out to us at the team at sixthreezero.com if you need anything at all from us. So let's jump into it. To answer this question, there's really no specific answer. If you're going to ride a mile, I could tell you that you could do a single speed. However, if that 1 mile is uphill, you might prefer to have gears. So I'm going to give you some generalizations. However, don't hold me to this. It's not an exact science. I'm going to give you some rough ideas of what type of bike, actually more specifically, what gears would be good for what type of distances. So let's start short range. Let's just say you're going to do about a zero, well, you're not going to ride zero, but let's say half a mile to a 2 mile ride. What type of bike would be good for that? Well, if it's strictly a flatland ride and really no hills, my suggestion would be something very, very simple, like a single speed cruiser. In the case of 630, that would be something like the Around the Block. Really simple, really easy, very low maintenance. It's going to get you to where you need to go, and it'll be reliable. The good thing about keeping the bike as simple as possible for the type of riding you're going to do is really on the maintenance side more than anything. You know, when you go with a single speed cruiser like the Around the Block, it's very little maintenance. The brakes are coaster brakes, and the gear system is a single speed. So there's, you know, no really need to lubricate the chain very frequently. Obviously, maybe every year or so, it's always good to do that, but very simple, very reliable. Now, if you're gonna go 0 or half a mile to 2 miles, but you have some hills, my suggestion would be to go up to a 7-speed, and I would go to an external derailleur, depending on the size of the hills. Now, if the hill is pretty vertical, it's nice to have a wider variance of gears so you have a really easy pedaling gear to get up a hill. I like a 7-speed over a 3-speed for hills because it gives you that variance, and the first gear is much easier to pedal on a 7-speed versus a 3-speed. So let's say now you're going to go somewhere in the 2 mile to 10 mile range. Actually, let's go 2 to 5 miles, and we'll go 5 to 10. So if you're going to be riding in the 2 mile to 5 mile range, I would also potentially recommend a single speed bike depending on the terrain and depending on how fast you want to go. For instance, we ride very frequently in Hermosa Beach here, and there's a 5 mile ride people like to do up and down Hermosa to Redondo, Manhattan Beach, and you can ride easily 5 to 8 miles, and a single speed is really sufficient because it's very smooth, it's very flat, and there's actually a max speed limit in that location of about 8 miles an hour. So really, you don't need the gears to, you know, perform faster because you can't really go faster, and you know, you're riding for the leisure aspect of it. So again, if you're going to be doing a 5 mile ride in those kind of conditions, I think a single speed is a great option. Now, if you're going to be doing a 2 to 5 mile ride and there's hills and you're looking to sweat and it's going to be a little bit of a workout, then I would say pump up to a 7-speed. This is if there's hills, okay? If there's hills, I recommend the 7-speed in the 2 to 5 mile range because it's going to be easier to get up and down the hills, again, giving you the gear variance. Now, if you're just looking for a little extra speed in the 2 to 5 mile range, but there's maybe not hills, then I would recommend a 3-speed. A 3-speed's great because it gives you a little bit more variance in the gears, but again, very simple and easy to use and very low maintenance. So if you don't have to jump up to the 7-speed, which will be better for the hills, staying in the 3-speed for very flat terrain and smooth rolling is much better decision. Now, let's talk about 5 to 10 mile rides. What I said before still holds true. If it's 5 to 10 miles, very flat terrain, my suggestion would be 3-speed. I would say if you're consistently going to ride 5 to 10 miles, it'll be nice to have some kind of gears, especially for the back half of that ride or coming back. And having the 3 speeds is going to allow you to get going a little bit faster than if you had the single speed. But again, that's for strictly flat terrain. Now again, same as before, 5 to 10 miles an hour, 5 to 10 miles, hills, more aggressive, I would say bump up to a 7 speed. Now, I would say if you're on the 10-mile range and you're really, looking to get going very fast and you want it to be for exercise, or perhaps you have some very aggressive hills, that's when I would start to consider the 21 speed. Now, generally speaking, most people riding for recreation don't need a 21 speed. However, if you're looking to get some exercise out of that 10-mile ride and really push yourself, then the 21 speed I think is a good option. And with our bikes, the Around the Block and the Every Journey, and I believe Pavin Trails also have 21 speeds. Those are some good options for those longer distances. And then anything above 10 miles per ride, I would say stick strictly to a 7 speed or a 21 speed. And this is gonna, these are the bikes like the Reach Your Destination, obviously Pavin Trail, Every Journey, Around the Block, all have those options. But over 10 miles, you're really gonna want different gears, different gear variation, different gear ratios, because as your legs get tired, you can back off the gears to ease the restriction on the pedaling. And then if you want to get going faster, you can increase the gear to allow that. So you're gonna really want those gears as you get over 10 miles. And then once you get into riding over 20 miles a ride, I would say your best bet is really to look for a 21 speed. Again, I think a 7 speed is fine and it will do the job, but a 21 speed might just be a better option to have the ability to adjust the derailleur, in 21 different ways versus only 7 different ways. Now, not to say that if you're riding 20 miles plus, there's lots of people out there who ride 20 miles plus in a ride every single day and they have a 7 speed. That suits them fine. I'm just saying, generally speaking, it might be good at that point in time to look at a 21 speed. Or if it's not a 21 speed, maybe something greater than 7 speeds, but less than 21 speed. There's sometimes some 15 speeds or 16 speeds out there as well. So that's an option. So with that said, I hope that helps. Like I said before, it's not an exact science. That's just a general rule of thumb. The distance of the ride isn't the only thing that matters when choosing what type of gears or how many gears. Obviously, the type of terrain is a big deal. I personally have ridden a single speed 10 miles plus when I'm going about 4 miles an hour and just doing it leisurely, hanging out with friends. So if that's something you're comfortable with, that is an option as well. Although if you're riding 20 miles plus on a single speed multiple days a week, it's going to start to get tiring and you might start to wish you had a few gears. So I hope that's helpful. Any questions at all or any thoughts or ideas, please comment below, or don't hesitate to reach out to us at the team at sixthreezero.com, or you can reach us by phone 310-982-2877. And don't forget, on the top of our website, if you go to sixthreezero.com, we have a body fit tool. You can put in all of your information, take the quiz, and we will recommend a bike that's best for you. And you can also customize, choose your colors, add accessories, do whatever you need. And we have e-bikes now, excuse me. So check out e-bikes, those are a great option. And you can, pretty soon you'll be able to customize those as well. And lastly, don't forget, we have a lifetime warranty, 365 days. If you buy from us, sorry, I take that back. We have a 365-day test ride policy. So if you buy from us, you don't love your bike in 365 days, you can send it back, no questions asked. We pay all the fees, expenses, nothing out of your pocket. And we have a lifetime warranty. So over the lifetime of your bike, if you have any problems at all, contact us, we'll take care of it. So thanks and enjoy the ride.